The JLR interview series.
Okay, so it's just after 6:30 p.m. on Tuesday, 19th of February, and today on Skype I've got a very special guest with us. Her name is Ana Popovic, singer, guitarist, and composer. So first of all, how are you, Anna, today?
I'm great, thank you. Good to talk to you.
Yeah, good to talk to you as well. So Anna is actually in Los Angeles at the moment, so quite a time difference for us, but it's always good to have interviews on Jazz London Radio. And the reason
Yes.
yes, and the reason we've got Anna on today is because she's going to be doing a tour coming up in May in the UK. So it's really great that she'll be coming over. So you'll be doing like dates all over the country, and which culminates on May the 11th at the Borderline on Charing Cross Road in London. So is that correct?
That's correct, yes. I'm very much looking forward to it.
Okay, have you played at the Borderline before?
We played once, and I am happy to be back. And we played UK last few years a few times, and before that it's been a long break, so I'm super happy to be back.
Okay.
And do a little longer tour.
Okay, so this time you've got dates in places like Manchester. I saw Cardiff and Leeds, and I think sort of tickets can be got on thegigcartel.com, and you basically you just search for Ana Popovic.
That's right.
Okay, that's great. So what I want to ask for first question then is this part of your tour, part of the promotion of your most recent LP that came out in autumn, just before December last year?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is the promotional tour for that record. We played quite some songs off of that record. We played songs off of the previous one called Trilogy, which only Trilogy gave us 23 tracks to work with. This is a triple CD that the Volume 1 is Funk and Soul record, Volume 2 is Rock and Blues CD, and Volume 3 is Jazz CD. So we do still play quite a lot of things off of Trilogy, and the last one called Like It On Top that I recorded with Cab Moll, and
yes.
We had some great guitar players on it, Robin Ford and Kenny Wayne Shepherd, and of course Trilogy features Bonamassa and so many more, Bernard Purdy on drums, and just all of this. Just these last two records feature over 30 musicians, and just the top-notch musicians from Nashville, New Orleans, and Memphis. So 3 music meccas, so in different musical styles.
Mm-hmm.
So that gives us a lot to work with. So it's going to be a great tour. It's going to be great. The set list is going to be awesome and very versatile, and so we can't wait to present it to the crowd.
Wow, I mean that's really interesting what you say there. So I mean, is it like literally from night to night you think, oh, let's play this, or do you have it all mapped out? How does it usually work?
No, I really like to feel the crowd, and I have the band that are just excellent musicians, and they can go different directions. So we got a few options for a start of the show, about 4 or 5 tracks that are segued, and a few options for the end of the shows, also about 4 or 5 that are segued. They can go different directions. And my band just really, they actually like it when I surprise them. They actually told me, we love it when you surprise us. And some of those surprises, they're really kind of demanding segues. So it's not easy to just switch, but it's wonderful to be a frontman to a band that just got it. You can talk about it before the show. You can feel the crowd in the middle of the show and switch to something else, and they would just follow. And there is no better feeling for a frontman than that. They just don't mess it up. They just nail it. So we have a lot of fun doing it. As I said, we got plenty of songs to choose from, so it can go different directions. I really kind of like to feel the crowd, because with all my experience, and I've been playing for a long time, I still can't predict. You can say, okay, this is more a jazz venue, or you can say this is more, a pop festival, or this is a blues festival, or this is a rock club. I still can't predict, So sometimes I feel that when I play something, I see they react different to something else, so I'll put more of that into the show. So it's a fun thing to build. We definitely don't want to play the same show over and over again.
Yeah, and I saw on your website you got a six-piece band. Is that right? Who you tour with?
That's right. Yes, that's right.
Wow.
So we got two horns, we got the Hammond organist, we bass drums, and I play guitar and sing. So yeah, it's a fun band.
Yeah, it sounds
and,
it.
I'm big on horn arrangements as well. So Delphio Marsalis did horn arrangements for me for the jazz record. And we got different arrangers for the funk record, for the blues record. So I'm big on those. I love to double them with guitar. I love to be a part of the horn section, playing guitar on those parts. So I try to catch as many as I can, and it's just fun. It's fun playing those arrangements.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And looking at your website, I mean, I've checked out your website quite a few occasions in the past as well, and I'm always amazed. I mean, your itinerary for touring is just incredible. I mean, you must be one of the hardest working musicians out there right now.
It is crazy. Sometimes I look at it and I'm thinking, how is this possible? Back in November it was already full for the next year. But yeah, it looks worse than it is.
Oh, okay.
And if you pay a good attention to the dates, you see that there are gaps,
right.
And those gaps are what I'm very serious about. I'm serious about my vacations. I need time off for my family. And I need time off to recharge and write songs. So yeah, those tours are really stacked, and they are usually about 10 days or 2 weeks at the most, and then followed by a good 2 weeks vacation or something. We had 6 weeks off in December because we reached our quote of 120 shows. I don't do more than 120 shows a year. That's been like that for 15 years. It's just my maximum. Once I reach that, I'm off.
Wow.
So, it looks worse than it is, but we do take time off, and I definitely am very serious about that. I got 2 kids at home, so when the tour gets too long, I take them with me, but most likely it's going to be about 10 days or 2 weeks followed by a good vacation.
So, okay, as you say, not too bad then.
No, I have a great excuse not to do 5-6 weeks tour like I did back in the day when I was starting and pack my suitcase for 6 weeks at a time. I don't do that for a long time now. So that's good.
But even so, I mean, it sounds to me like touring is a really big part of what you do. It's something you really love doing.
I love it. I absolutely love my job. I love what I do. I'm very passionate about, and I'm never nervous before the tour. I just love. I just love getting together with the band and just enjoying our time on stage. Different territories. Obviously, we play different countries, which is wonderful, and we worked hard on building our following on both sides of the ocean, and then obviously some new territories like Japan or India or Indonesia or Dubai. They all we've been to Bahrain, which was quite amazing. So we always add some interesting territories that we've never done before, and then we come back to our steady East Coast, West Coast, Europe. So it's great to be back in UK for a longer time this time. So I'm very much looking forward to that.
Right. Okay. I mean that's great. So I know I don't have much time for you today. So just one thing I wanted to bring up is your music. So your album before. Like It On Top, which I've been featuring on both rock and blues and latest releases over the last couple of months.
Great. Thank you.
Oh, you're welcome. But Trilogy is very intriguing because I mean, as a jazz station, and I mean one of the reasons I love Jazz London Radio is it's a very versatile station, and we play a lot of different things. And your album Trilogy was absolutely perfect for this station because some of the stuff we could feature in jazz funk. Some of the stuff we're featuring rock and blues, some of the funk stuff, sorry I should say, we're featuring in big band jazz. I mean, it's absolutely crazy. So, I mean, do you consider yourself as a jazz musician, or I mean, where's the jazz come from in what you do?
Oh, but I mean, I am a blues musician for one, rock and jazz was. I studied some jazz back in the day. It's been a long time, and I always wanted to do. I guess, the triple CD and show the different variety of music that I love. And now when I wanted to tackle the jazz part, I called Delphio Marsalis, who's been producing, obviously, Marsalis family and so many other. And I said, listen, I'm a blues player here, so you have to work with me, and I want to bring out what I like about jazz, and that's an old school jazz, I have to say. That's how I would like my guitar to sound. That's how I write. I write those songs that are kind of a old school standard and I had a few tracks then that I already wrote, and he got the band together, different musicians for different tracks, and we had a rehearsal. It was just amazing. They would just give me so many different options that I couldn't even choose from. As you see, one of the songs is recorded in two different ways. One is double time swing, and then one, which was my idea, that's how I originally wrote it, and Waiting on You. Yes. And then the other was actually how Delphio heard it. And when he heard it and he played it with Herlin Riley on drums, who is amazing, it was the biggest discovery of me. And if I have to put down, and I've worked with so many incredible drummers in my career, I think Herlin was my biggest discovery. I mean, that was so pure and so back in the day, but at the same time hip in a way, and I don't think anybody plays like him. Yeah. So they gave me so many options. That was that rehearsal lasted, I would think, if it even lasted 4 hours altogether. Wow. It's too much, and they came up with so many incredible arrangements, that I just didn't know what to choose from. So I think that jazz record was my favorite to record. I had to go back when I was studying jazz, which was almost 15 years ago, and try to work on my jazz chops and scales and stuff that I didn't use lately, because my gig is totally different. So it was, I had to, and also approaching the vocals was different, because I chose Delphio, and I said, I want to sound different on all three volumes. I want to sound totally like you listen to three different artists. And then we started working on the vocals that should be jazz. So cut out all the blues stuff, cut out the vibratos, and cut out the stuff that we love to do in blues and rock. So for me it was a big stretch, and I loved every second of it. And he was very patient, and he's from New Orleans, so they work a lot with blues. And that's about the only city where blues and jazz is mixed. I mean, you have blues and rock, you've got blues and funk, and you've got jazz and rock, and you've got jazz and fusion, but you never see a connection with blues, which is very unfortunate, because that's something I've been missing when I was studying jazz at the conservatory in Amsterdam and Rotterdam and in Utrecht. And I said, why don't you make that connection? It would be so much easier for kids that are starting with jazz if you go make that connection with blues. Blues is the basic of all of that, Yes, so definitely. Those standards that I chose and some of my songs that sound like jazz standards really are in that manner written to support that connection with blues. Wow,
that's great. And you mentioned one of the people who paired on your last record, Robin Ford. I like telling this story because someone I knew years back who was a big blues fan, and I've seen Robin Ford play live, and I was teasing him because he was telling me about Robin Ford, he's a great blues singer, guitar player. I said, oh, you mean Robin Ford, the jazz player? And he had no idea Robin Ford actually played jazz at all. So it's really interesting. True story. So it's always good to have artists like yourself who, do different things and have different audiences, or bring other people together in your. So that's what jazz needs right now.
Exactly, and you know what? Robin is a great example, and I mean, I love his playing. Back in the day, we were all getting together and listening to those records, trying to get those solos down, and just that's a great example, because he's somewhere in between the blues and the jazz world, I guess. Sometimes his singing is too bluesy for the jazz people. His playing is too jazzy for the blues people, And that's how I think I see myself as well. I always liked Ronnie Earl, who was also very jazzy for blues people, and he would pick the players that could actually support that. So I like to see myself that way. And Robin is just one of the best guitar players in the last 50 years. He is just really amazing. I was very fortunate to have him on two tracks because I spent hours, trying to get some of his licks back when I was a teenager. So it's fantastic to see him play.
Yeah, it is.
And both me and Kev Moll, we are huge fans. So when he
Yeah,
was in the studio, we were both kind of really excited and
yeah,
just having fun and being super happy that day.
yeah, yeah. I mean, my goodness, you work with some top class musicians there for sure.
Yeah, I'm very fortunate that they answer my calls, and I really love to feature them on my records. I'm not one of those musicians that needs to play everything myself. I mean,
Yeah, that's
I
good.
really love the fact to have those people that inspire me actually give a little magic to my compositions and my songs that I wrote. I mean, there's nothing better than that feeling. So yeah, I was very fortunate to work with some high-end musicians.
Okay. Okay, that's great. So I just got one more question for you. I'm afraid it's going to be the usual question, but I have to ask it. So, who are some of your favorite guitar players growing up?
Yeah, I listened to a lot of, Albert Collins back in the day, Albert King, Freddie King, Stevie Ray Vaughan, Jimi Hendrix,
Hmm.
B.B. King, Ronnie Earl, Sonny Landreth for slide, Roy Rogers for slide,
Hmm.
John Scofield, some of the jazz guys, Kevin Eubanks, I don't know,
Hmm.
Joe Pass, just different people. So I try to have my own signature. I try not to steal anybody's licks and just trying to work on my own signature thing from the very first time I came to the States as a, guitar player from female guitar player from Eastern Europe. I was like,
Yeah.
I need to bring something different to the table. And I mean, as I said, American audience is very welcoming, and they are open for things that sound different and not necessarily have to sound exactly like they're used to. The blues people
Hmm.
from the from the cotton fields, or from the Texas blues, or
Hmm.
Chicago blues. So yeah, I think I found a spot, and I've been trying to give my audience something different, something unique, and something they're going to recognize as Ana Popovic.
Wow, that's marvelous. And just last one. Do you use what setup do you use guitar wise?
Well, I use the guitar I play the most is my all original 64 Strat.
Right.
And I have a Reissue 57 that I've been playing ever since I was 18. I think I got it from a present from my family, and it's a Fiesta Red maple neck that been always with me on my shows. And then I get, a few guitars. I got a Hamilton that's built specially for me. That's the one with a specific logo that Stevie Ray Vaughan had as well. So
Oh, right.
it's very dear guitar to me. They
Yeah.
brought it to one of my shows. I got, a Martin. I got a Ovation 12 string. I am going in a few days to the Fender factory. I'm going to, they're going to build my own model, which is fantastic. With John Cruz, master builder at Fender. I can't wait. I get a lot of options for builders to build me a guitar, and I always pleasantly refuse that because I just love the Strat. I'm a
Yeah.
Strat person, and I got a 64, and nothing comes even close. But if the master builder at Fender gonna build me one, I'm gonna say yes to that. So I'm very excited. I got some ideas, and I'm going on the, I think, 21st here at Corona at the Fender factory. So that's going to be awesome.
Wow. So that sounds great. Okay, well, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today, and really looking forward to see you play at the Borderline. It's a venue I really enjoy going to. I've seen some good artists there, including Carver High a few years back. So
Great.
yeah,
Well, I hope to meet you over there, and please come say hi. And thank you for this.
yeah, sure thing. So just to reiterate for the listeners, so go to thegigcartel.com and then just search Ana Popovic for tickets, or just go to your website, I suppose, as well.
Yes, that's right.
Okay. All right. So great. So thanks for the interview with Jazz London Radio.
Thank you so much, and I'll see you soon. Thanks for this.
Okay.
Have a
Thanks.
great evening. Bye
Thanks.
bye.
Bye.
This is how I roll. feels so good. I like it on top. I like it on. I like it on. This is who I am. I never give up. I never give up the fight. Well, my back's against the wall, and I fight with all my might. 'Cause I like it on top. Every day of the week, I like it on top. Walking down the street, I like it on top. It feels so good, I like it on top. I like it on, I like it on. I started out way down on the bottom, but I just kept on reaching for the sky. You and I, we all have the power. It's up to us. How far, how high. I feel it in my blood. I'm giving it all I got. I'm reaching for the sun, shooting my best shot. 'Cause I like it on top. Every day of the week, I like it on top. Walking down the street, I like it on top. It feels so good, I like it on top. I like it on, I like it on, I like it on top. Every day of the week, I like it on top. Walking down the street,
I like it.
I like it on. Walking down the street, yeah.
I like it on. I like it on.
The JLR interview series.